So I don't think anyone's seen that one coming. Welcome back, my friends, to another video here on the channel. Today, we're going to be discussing some news, PlayStation news, if you will. There's this big Bloomberg article that came out, and it dropped a lot of information. Now, obviously, like anything else, take it with a grain of salt. You know, it's not obviously confirmed from Sony themselves, but apparently there's a bunch of sources, developers, you know, different people that were involved in all of these specific situations. That apparently have spoken about the the reality of it all. So the article is actually called "Sony's Obsession with Blockbusters is Stirring Unrest Within PlayStation Empire," and it was basically discussing about just how I guess the bigger companies or the bigger developers are getting so much support, while maybe some of the smaller developers within the Sony empire are not getting as much support and whatnot. But there's a couple interesting tidbits to take out of this, and that is that apparently some of these insiders have reported that Naughty Dog is apparently working on a remake of The Last of Us for PS5. Now I would have expected to see, hey, they're gonna be kind of, maybe doing a little update to The Last of Us Part 2, to kind of, bring it up to par with the PS5, specs, kind of like what they did with the Last of Us Remastered. But I don't know, excuse me, it's kind of weird that they're remaking it. I mean, I wouldn't mind. The Last of Us 1 was really, really good. I mean, really good, and I would assume that most people would probably agree that it's one of the better Naughty Dog games out there. I mean, they've made a lot of great games, with the Uncharted series and all that as well, and way back in the day with Crash Bandicoot. But I'd be willing to bet that, The Last of Us 1 is probably one of the most beloved Naughty Dog games. So maybe it does make sense. I don't know. I mean, I would play it personally. I don't know why they would do it, but I would play it. I don't know. Let me know if you guys would. So apparently that's one of the biggest big things going on here. And again, one of the bigger kind of threads in this article is that, Sony is seemingly, prioritizing big teams with big games above all else. And there's a heavy focus on hits, a heavy focus on blockbuster games, if you will. What's even more interesting that is apparently, according to this article, the Days Gone, the game Days Gone, is apparently not receiving a sequel, despite the fact that it was pretty profitable. It's apparently not receiving a sequel. It may be due to production issues and the critical reception. I don't know. But what's more interesting is that BENQ Studio was apparently asked to help with a new Uncharted game being developed by Naughty Dog. So they were kind of like, I mean, if you look at how, a lot of games have had kind of, especially with Activision, within the Activision realm, where, you'd have a game that was being worked on, excuse me, and then other companies were kind of chipping in as well. Look at the Call of Duty series, for example, right? You have the main studio, like Infinity Ward, for example, that was, would be working on the game, and then they would have a little bit of help from some of the others, like Raven and stuff, or Raven would be working on, let's say, like the multiplayer, while, Infinity Ward is focusing on, maybe the foundational stuff and the campaign or whatnot, things like that. So apparently BENQ Studio was involved to some length, to some extent, in a new Uncharted game. But apparently they asked to be taken off the project because they were actually scared of being absorbed by Naughty Dog. We actually seen some of that kind of happen with other development studios. Actually, speaking of Activision, they did it with Vicarious Visions, where they absorbed Vicarious Visions right into Activision Blizzard. So now I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen to the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 series, or the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series, I should say, after the 1 and 2 remasters. And, hopefully they still make that. But anyways, that's a little bit of a rabbit trail. Point being, apparently BENQ Studio was helping Naughty Dog with a new Uncharted game, and they wanted to be taken off because they didn't want to be absorbed into the company, into the development studio rather. So I don't know, some pretty interesting tidbits in here. Again, you can read the whole article, link down in the description below, but it's very interesting because, like, obviously PlayStation's had a lot of big hits, right? We've had, you know, God of War. We're gonna be getting a God of War sequel, right? God of War Ragnarok. The Last of Us Part 1 was obviously a massive success. Last of Us Part 2, controversial, but still successful. You know, we got the Uncharted series, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, Lost Legacy as well. We have apparently an Uncharted 5 that's being worked on, according to this article. You know, we have... What else do we have? Well, Days Gone, I guess, wherever you want to categorize that. You know, that's maybe not as massive. This Infamous series, you know, Second Son being the most recent, which was a long time ago already, because then Santa Monica went on to work on Ghost of Tsushima, which of course is another massive game in and of itself. You know, that was a huge success, which, you know, of course they're going to be working on a sequel for that as well. So, you know, a lot of great, huge blockbuster titles from Sony, and maybe they're you know, they're getting a little too obsessive with it. I don't know. According to this article, you know, I mean, it would make sense. Obviously, you know, when you see something being successful, maybe you'd focus super heavy on that. But the shame, the part that's kind of like a little bit of a shame is that, you know, maybe some of the other smaller studios within the PlayStation umbrella might not be getting as much love for that reason, you know what I mean? Because Sony just wants to focus on the bigger kind of heavy hitters. You know, it's always nice to see some of the smaller studios get a little bit more of a chance to kind of, you know, shine and whatnot. I mean, every single studio at some point in history has been a little bit of a smaller kind of, you know, even indie developer sized studio, which is why I'm always intrigued to see, you know, what kind of games come out of the indie realm of things. You know, I guess I haven't personally played as many indie games as maybe some other people have, but I'm always very intrigued to see what the smaller guys are doing, you know, for lack of a better word or phrase. You know, just the smaller people, the smaller studios, you know, that that are not as large of a team, or you know, don't have as much of a budget behind them or whatnot. It's always interesting to see what they're up to. So it'd be kind of a shame if Sony's neglecting those studios for, you know, the bigger heavy hitters. You know, we all enjoy those huge games, you know, those big cinematic blockbuster type games. I mean, I know I do. They're very unique, and there's not many games like that. That reach that kind of tier, I find, you know, those kind of big cinematic productions, if you will. You know, those games that feel like you're playing a movie, like an interactive movie almost, you know what I mean? Because they're that level of you know, just grandeur, I guess, for lack of a better word. Coming up with some weird words and phrases today, man. So I don't know, interesting stuff I wanted to share with you guys. Let you guys know about this. Again, the article is a little bit lengthier. You know, that's just kind of a quick little highlight. I'll link it down in the description below if you guys want to read the whole thing. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys make out of it. Would you like to see a Last of Us remake? I mean, I don't mind. I would go for it. I mean, if they're actually completely remaking it to look and play even better, that'd be crazy. Maybe they're gonna, if it is true, excuse me, if it is true, maybe they're gonna, if it is a remake, maybe they're going to take some of the mechanics that was in The Last of Us Part 2 and implement them in The Last of Us Part 1. I don't know. I'm not really sure how that would work, to be honest. Or maybe it's just kind of like a fresh coat of paint, a remaster. I don't know. I have no idea. So time will tell if it does come to fruition or not. You know, Uncharted, I would be willing to bet is, you know, they're obviously, I don't think they're done with Uncharted. You know, the way Uncharted 4 ended left it open to possibilities. I'll leave it at that in case any of you guys haven't played it. But all in all, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we're getting a new Uncharted soon, and if we do end up getting a Last of Us remake, whatever. I mean, I'm cool with it. I love that game. You know, the first game was amazing. I'll take it. I don't know if you guys care, but I'll take it. It is what it is. So I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts. If you are new to the channel, we do a variety of gaming content, so stick around for a variety of stuff, let's plays, gameplays, gaming news, different things like that. So yeah, you can follow me at JSkeleton on Twitter if you guys want to kind of, you know, keep up to date, or join our Discord, links in the description below. And I have a Nintendo channel, JSkeleton's Nintendo World, if you guys want to check that out, if you're into Nintendo goodness. So anyways, I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe, stay well, and until then, game on.